Hello, great fellow countrymen. Welcome again to Joe Ink Space. Wambura alias Joseph Blessed is the name. Joe Ink Space is the platform. How have you been, guys? I want to believe you all have been amazing. I mean, the day, the week, the month is taking you so much well. And even the year. First of all, I've been really so much okay. I think I've been up and down, of course, doing a lot of content. You guys have been seeing what's happening in this account, and if you have happened to have subscribed to this account, and by any chance if you turned on your notification bell, definitely you're seeing there is a lot of content that is popping, not long videos, shorts, and all sorts of videos are dropping this content. And a bit we are doing a little bit of mixed content, but it's fine. So personally today I was not just to do a video. I just want to come, we chill here, we have some small story. Yep, just a random story. But along the way, I remember that I am running series of life through my lens series that encompasses, or rather that comprises a lot of stories and everything that has been happening in my life ever since I came to this earth. And if you've not watched my previous videos, I have two series, if not three so far, two episodes, I mean, if not three, that are talking about my life. I think the first one we did about how I lost my parents. The second one I did about how my mom used to struggle to keep us in town and even to pay our school fees and all those. And boom, today I remembered something that really happened in my life, especially when I finished my college and then headed to maybe seeking for some job. I mean, just like any other, it was a bit of struggle. I do not know whether I am the only guy who has been through struggles trying to make ends meet, but having listened to so many stories online, I have come to realize that almost everyone has their own stories. Everyone has a journey that they've walked, and that one has brought me to a point of agreeing that before you can actually reach to the mountaintop, you must have gone through something. And I have also come to believe that life is like a school. You have to go through some stages. You know, there are exams that you have to go through for you to be able to achieve something in life. It doesn't have to come on a silver platter. You really have to work through the same, and of course it doesn't have to be like a walk in the park. So jumping into the real story real quick is I got cornered when I was coming to the city. Yep, Nairobi city. And this story I think I've shared with a couple of things, or a couple of people around my circle, and only to realize that this guy who actually cornered me some small amount of money he had, you know, this was his latest habit. I mean, he had cornered very many people, including my closest and former high school teacher. So when I shared that story with him, you know, he was like, oh, you've already fell victim of the same. I have equally fell victim of the same, but it's fine. So things that I'm going to conceal in this story is the name of the person who actually cornered me. Actually, it's so sad that I have not been able to retrieve the transaction messages, or rather the screenshots, but I strongly believe they exist. Even if I mention his name today and this guy decides to take me to court, I promise you I'm gonna retrieve the same. I send them the money to him, but unfortunately it did not work how we had agreed. Now here is the real story. So personally, I went to Taranganya Boys High School, which is located in Korea West, Kehancha, past Kehancha. For those people who have gone to Korea West, Migori County, you must have known what I'm talking about. And it is in Korea West, past Kehancha, towards I do not remember the village that is past that, but that is my high school. So I graduated, and of course, just like any other, I was privileged to score a grade that enables me to join, you know, college for my bachelor's degree program. And my I went to Pwani University, located in Kilifi County, and Kibaoni in particular, which is actually along Mombasa Malindi Highway. So that is where I took my bachelor's of public health, and unfortunately, I am not practicing the same. I mean, so many people have been asking, okay, we see you doing a lot of things to do with film, you're doing photography, doing more of YouTube, almost inclining to journalism. Which course did you do? Okay, guys, I'm here to say it loud that I did public health bachelor's level, and I have that degree over there. But the only most unfortunate thing that I did not do is I did not go for my license. And the reason behind this is because, guys, when I was studying in high school, and all along I dreamed to become a medical doctor. But that's a story for another day. But just understand that I landed in public health. So I'm gonna come with some other episode to explain about my educational journey, my aspirations, what I really wanted to do, maybe to become, but also, so yeah. So keep locked in. Make sure that you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so that by the time I bring that up episode, you'll be able to be acquainted. But just in a brief, to mention where I actually came from to land in Nairobi, and to land into the entire story of being cornered, is that I finished Pwani University. I went back to Migori County, Kuria West, of course, and then now I was like, I need to get something to do. Okay, so like any other graduate, except a few, you don't just graduate from a tertiary institution and therefore you land, a job. So it happened that I also landed through the same struggle. So I happened to be that village, and then I go to church. Of course, I'm a church guy. I go to church. I purely understand all of you. If you've gone to that stage, and then now, by the time you don't have a job, I purely understand that you all can relate what it means lacking a job, lacking 100 shillings, lacking that 50 shillings. So you are in a circle where people maybe are maybe removing 50 shillings for some project, some small project, maybe for their peers, or maybe in a church, and then you do not have anything to remove, and you're like, damn, this is not the life of a graduate. This is not the life that I want to live. So I succumbed to that kind of a pressure as well, and I was like, no, I need to get something to do. So while I was in campus, there's this friend whom we were with in the same high school. While I was in Form 1, okay, I went to two in my secondary school. I went to two schools. I went to Form 1 in a different school, of course, a decimal school, but of course now from 2 to Form 4, I relocated now to Tanganya Boys High School. So when I was in Ngisiru Secondary School doing my Form 1 studies, there's this guy who happened to be my friend. This guy used to play piano in church during the CU. Okay, this is how it used to happen. The school that I was in, it was just within my locality, such that if I moved from my home to that place, it was just near. So it's a school that was located within my hood. Okay, so it's not a distance from my home, like real home, ancestral home. So these students used to, this guy used to play piano in church. I knew him as a son of a pastor, and most importantly, I knew him as a really God-fearing man. And that's why, since from that incident, I have come really to be so much vigilant. I'm so much, sensitive on whomever I'm interacting with. Despite that I know you, that maybe you are a God-fearing person, I do not, entrust you with anything. I do not treasure my trust in you. Even if you're a pastor, you are who. From that day, I think I become so much sensitive, and I lost trust. In a nutshell, that is what I can say. I lost trust with just anyone, even if I know you, even if I do not know you. I do not really trust anyone just 100%. So that was it. So this guy was a pianist, and he was from a Christian family. I knew him as someone who was very much straightforward. So when I was still in campus, this guy used to tell me, where are you? I tell him that I'm in college. Okay, what are you doing? I'm telling him, no, I'm just studying. How about I link you up with some sort of a job? I'm like, no, bro, I cannot be able to do a job while I'm studying, especially now that you're offering me an opportunity in Nairobi while I am in Kilifi County. Guys, for those who do not understand how far Kilifi is from Nairobi, Kilifi is like 600 kilometers away from Nairobi, if I'm not wrong. It might be 600 kilometers or even more. Okay, I do not know. You're gonna do your research on Google, but just understand it's really very much for. So this guy told me, you know what? Okay, I know we have a branch in Kilifi. How about I link you up with those people so that they give you a job, you can do it part-time. And I was like, yeah, sure. That one did not happen. So those kind of fake promises, and he appears and reappears. And well, I did not have any record, a previous record of this guy being a con man. So I still trusted this guy. So when I finished school, okay, before that, I remember the last day that when he texted me, tell me that he has a job that he wanna offer me in Nairobi. I told him that, okay, well, purely I understand that you're my friend and you really aspire to help me, but I do not think this is the right time. So how about when I finish school, I will look for you so that you can offer me a job, because I strongly believe that will be the right time for me to work and of course make money. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, deal. So when I finish school and then go back to the village, I succumbed to all sorts of pressure, money, and I do not have anything of importance to do in the village. The first thing that ran in my mind was, there's this friend who has been, persuading me to go for some opportunity. How about I reach out to him to know where the opportunity has reached? If maybe it's something that is ripe, why not grab it? So I contacted this guy. We talk. He's like, oh my god, you ought to have contacted me a week ago, because we had opportunities and we've given them out to some people. And I was like, oh my god, I wish I would have contacted. But he was like, nevertheless, don't mind, I'm going to talk to my boss. We see how we can help. Now that is where the music started. Let me sip water and then I'll bring the entire music. So guys, remember, I am in the village. I've just finished college. I do not have a job. I am in the village, literally in the village, whereby getting maybe some few coins, maybe you go work for someone on a shamba or a farm, you get something small. So but it happened that during that time, it was it is during that time when people have already finished farming, they have harvested, so they're waiting to plant again. So there were not really those more opportunities you could grab maybe within the locality to earn a shilling. So I did not have anything. So this guy, he tells me that, okay, he took like some hours and then he contacts me. Okay, Joe, I have talked to my boss, and lucky enough, there's this opportunity that we can actually offer to you. And I was like, damn, prayer answered. So I'm like, which kind of opportunity? It tells me that, don't mind, I'm going to tell you all about the opportunity. Okay, so let's do it. So the next call, this guy was asking for some small facilitation, but before that, he had told me how I would come to the city. I wouldn't have had the pressure to pay rent. He would provide me the accommodation for the first month, so that I can get back to my feet. Maybe after being paid, I can look for my own house. And I was like, wow, this is a good opportunity. So this guy comes and he fakes some story, and he tells me like, Joe, now unfortunately one of our colleagues has lost a child, so the office, or rather the company, has sent a representative to go and stand in for us for that occasion. So the person is coming, that officer is coming with a car, so you'll only be required to help fuel that car, so that guy can ferry you back to the city. Actually, she's not a guy, she was a lady. So that lady will ferry you back to the city, and she will bring you up to my place. And like, that is how much we're talking about. He says that, I think that would be okay. He did not say the amount. What he did is, he just gave me the number. Just talk to her on WhatsApp. Do not call her, because that number is not online. It's not, you're not able to call. And also it's fine. So I get this lady on a text, and then we chat, and then this lady is like, okay, which I later realized that this was just the guy that I was just chatting with. So, and okay, that pseudo person tells me like, okay, you just have to fuel my car, rather top up a 1,000 shillings, so that we'll be able to jet back to Nairobi. I don't have anything, guys. Now, what I did, I remember I contacted a cousin of mine. I have to mention this cousin. It's called Yusuf. So I tell Yusuf, bro, I wanted a job in Nairobi, but I do not have fare. Could you kindly assist me with a few amounts, and then since I got a job, then when I earn my first salary, I will refund you back. Okay? And then the guy did not have money either. So this guy, however, he had an option. So he took some soft loan somewhere. I think that was Mshwari. So he took some soft loan somewhere that was around 3,000, somewhere there. And then he gives me. So my calculation was this 3,000, I'm gonna give out 1,000 to cater for the fuel back to Nairobi, and then we do what? The 2,000 that's just remaining, maybe I'm gonna use them to buy a few essential when I'm in the city, the toothbrushes, just minor essentials, since now I'm having an accommodation. So story goes on. So I sent the money to a number that was given, okay, to the driver. Okay, so I give them to the driver. I start packing. So the instructions were, this lady is going to Kehacha. Okay, I reside somewhere, a village called Gisiru, next to Mabera, somewhere almost close to Mabera. But now this lady was going. This lady, when I talk of a lady, please understand this is a pseudo person. It doesn't exist. I later realized that I was actually talking to the guy. Sorry. So this lady will go to Kehancha, attend the funeral, and then he comes picks me. And then for those who know where Nyanchabo is, he picks me to Nyanchabo, or rather maybe picks me anywhere that I will be, since she'd be having a car, and then we go back to Nairobi. So I pack. I make sure that I pack everything. My suitcase is ready. Now that was on a Saturday. So on a Sunday, was it on a Sunday? No, that was on a Friday. I remember the days. On a Friday. Now on a Saturday, I start packing. I get ready so that on Sunday, since I was going to Nyanchabo Pefa, which is almost close to a highway from Kanja, so that when this lady calls me, I already have everything. I have my suitcase. I just hop in, and then we go to Nairobi. So I packed and I got ready. So on Saturday, this guy calls me again. Oh, Joe, now this lady seemingly is going to delay in Kancha, but nevertheless, what I want to do right now is, since I want you to come to Nairobi, so that I can be able to help you meet my boss, and then you secure the opportunity, and then now you can relax waiting for when you are supposed to resume the job, or rather to assume the job. I was like, yeah, sure, that's a good plan. Now, I have some Fuliza. For those who do not understand Fuliza is a soft loan that you take, so that by the time someone sends you money, they're able to deduct directly on your M-Pesa. So I have some Fuliza. Would you mind paying for this Fuliza so that I can borrow more and send you back even extra, so that you can come without necessarily having to wait for the lady, or rather for the staff that came to Kehancha for the funeral? And I was like, yeah, of course, why not? I sent another 1,000. We are 2,000 guys. Remember, this is a graduate with no job. Even a shillings really matters to them. So I said 1,000. This guy goes mute. Mute. Now that was on a Friday. That was on a Saturday. In the evening, I tried to reach out to this guy. no response. Now on Sunday, remember I'm going to church, so something tells me, should I carry this bag or I leave it home? How about the other guy, the lady who was coming from Kehancha? Perhaps maybe, when you're being cornered, you try to create your own imaginations, your world of thinking. Maybe this guy, he mute because maybe he got some emergency. Maybe the phone was stolen. Maybe the phone went off. Maybe they do not have electricity. Those kind of questions or rather thoughts were running in my mind, trying to console myself. Everything's fine. So no one contacts me. Now on a Sunday, I receive a call from this guy. Oh, Joe, as I tell you, something really came up, and fortunately, the loan was overdue, so I'm not able to borrow again. So what you're going to do? I think we'll have to still stick to the plan of the staff having to carry. But now it's not supposed to be today. It has to be tomorrow on Monday. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I've remained with 1,000. Remember, was this 3? I really can't remember, but let's go. So I sent the money. Now the next day, I'm waiting for someone to contact me. No one calls me. So this guy calls some other day. Okay, on the very Monday, towards evening. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. As I told you, that the officer is like he's gonna spend some more time in Kehancha, so I just kindly request you to be patient. Either way, I talked to my boss and they assured me that the opportunity is still available. Okay, I'm like, where is the hurry? Let me just be patient. Now, again, this guy, he stays for some time, and then the next day, that was on Tuesday again. Now, then the pseudo person texts me on WhatsApp. Hey, I was told that I should carry you to Nairobi. Where are you? I tell her that, okay, I am in this place. I'm in this place. So are you able to carry me? I say, no, I just wanted to confirm whether you are actually ready so that we can plan for the same. Hold on as I come back and proceed with the same. Okay, guys, welcome back and thank you for waiting. So this lady texted me on WhatsApp and she's like, okay, now I think I'm ready. Now I feel like you should send some more money if you actually have, but this one is for refund. Could you be having some 1,000 somewhere so that you send me? I need to sort a few things, but I need us to travel tomorrow. That was now on Wednesday, so that was on Tuesday. Now she means that we will travel now on a Wednesday. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I sent 3,000. Let me tell you guys, I know some of you could be you could be seeing me as someone who is you are so much dumb. You could not read the sign. I mean, how could you send money after money? Let me tell you guys, there is a lot that is going on, especially when you're desperate. You do not think upright. So I could not think upright during that time. So remember, guys, I have now exhausted the 3,000, and then nobody's showing up. So something hit me. I knew that this was a con game. I do not know how it happened, but I remember sending up to a maximum up to 4,800 shillings, because I remember I ran out of that. I don't know, he came back with some other stories, and then I went to borrow from another distant, another close cousin called Mysori. I know some of you might know him. For those who are close to me, know Mysori. So I go and borrow the money from Mysori, and then that was about 1500 somewhere there. Again, I do not know how they convinced me. The money, I just know that by the end of the day, I sent them 1,700 or so, no, 4,700 or 4,800, somewhere there, because I do have this kind of, those sort of screenshots. Only that I could not retrieve them at the moment, but I am sure if I can go to an M-Pesa statement, I'll be able to retrieve them. But it was not necessary for this video anyways, because I do not want to make it more of court cases and providing prima facie, and I do not want that. This was just a normal story. But when it is at that point, maybe that someone wants to sue me for, you know, for false information, I'm gonna pull them up. So guys, they have now cornered me 4,800 shillings. Okay, so I am in the village. Remember, I am a church boy, a pianist, by the way. I know how to play piano, so I used to play piano for that church. So I have given my spiritual dad a goodbye. The church in its entirety, I've told them, you know what, I've secured a job in Nairobi, now I'm going. Remember, I borrowed money from a cousin of mine, Yusufu, and everyone, they know that, you know, I should be traveling, okay? Also, the other cousin, my story also, just know everyone knew that I was supposed to travel, okay? But still, I am in the village. So people continue seeing me there, and they have given money. So if it were you, you definitely would have thought, this guy has started being a con. So I told myself I have to get out of the village by all means. Okay, I have to get out of the village by all means. So this is where my campus friends comes in. I sat down and tried to think, whom can I borrow money this time? Not sending to anyone, rather make it my own fare to Nairobi. Remember, that was COVID-19 period, guys. Transport was at peak, jobs were low, and everything was worse. So what I did, I called one friend called Eugene. Is it Eugene? Eugene sent me some money. Eugene Ochele, if you're watching this video, please remember, bro. I remember it. I don't know, I can't remember what you said, but one of the guys as well called Calvin Matiko, who was also my college mate, sent me something. I remember accumulating to around 1,700 shillings. Now, this money now said, whichever happened, whatever happens, whomever gonna ask me for this, I'm not going to give anyone. So guys, I took my bag and tried. Now this time around, I was not trying to imagine who's going to host me in Nairobi. Now, remember guys, okay, not remember because I did not mention this earlier. When I finished high school, remember I went to two schools. The first one, Form 1, which is just within my locality, my ancestral home's locality, and then to Taranganya Boys. So my Form 1 school wanted to hire me. Actually did not wanted to hire me, requested me if I can volunteer as a board of BOG, how do you call them, BOG teacher, just someone who teaches for some small wage. And I was like, yeah, sure. I showed up. I used to teach there and then get some small coins. So during that time, I made a friend who happened to be a distant relative. So this guy, he had come to Nairobi and he's trying life in Nairobi as well. So this was my student then. So I called this guy, I'm like, can I get an accommodation there? And he was like, hey, sure, just come. I picked my bag. I bought the bus with my 1,700 shillings. Arrived to Nairobi. This guy directs me where to pick the buses to his place. That is how I came to Nairobi. So when I came to Nairobi, I will narrate on how I used to search my first job, but I guess I'm about to stop because I do not want to skip to that, how I was job hunting within Nairobi now after arriving in Nairobi, with no any specific job to do. So I landed to this guy's place, and this guy is called Rashid Maginga. This young man offered me a space to stay. He accommodated me for many months before I can actually get to my feet, or rather relocate to my own space. So that is how I arrived to Nairobi. That is how I was cornered to come to Nairobi. That is how I was cornered to lose that small amount of money anyways, which was not mine, which I borrowed, which I later paid, you know, bit by bit, after, of course, you know, creating very bad image for the people who had lent me money. So after I arrived in Nairobi, I decided to call this guy. So luckily he picked the phone, and then, bro, you want me to what happened? And the guy was, oh, I'm sorry, what really happened? I think something happened. See, my phone was stolen. I could not access your number. I could not call you. Thank you for calling me. Are we able to meet and talk? I remember the first thing I asked him is, are we meeting for a job, or we are meeting to talk? Please, if we are meeting to talk, just let go. If we are meeting for a job, it's fine. I'm ready. Otherwise, don't worry. I am in the city. I'm going to try it out. I was just trying to be around, and I have managed to arrive to the city. So it's fine. And that was it, guys. That is how I cut the communication with that guy. Remember, guys, I had tried to reach out to her sister, to his sister as well. I was a friend. No, okay, my cousin, my distant cousin was a friend to her sister. So through her, I had tried to access this lady. I talked to her and I explained to her, and she was like, if you can sue this brother of mine, please do so, because he has been disturbing people. He has cornered many people, not you alone. He has caused my mom to be undergoing through high blood pressure and such kind of stress. Please, if you can be able to file a case against this guy, it's fine. Please proceed. I was like, anyway, not necessary. Personally, I like just solving things in a diplomatic way, and I just let go. So that was it, guys. But the moral of the story is never trust anyone, okay? And also, first impression can at some point lie. So because personally, this is someone whom I trusted him from the word go, from the fact that I knew he was from a Christian family. You know, his father was a pastor. This guy was a pianist in church. He would at some point, you know, read some Bible in school, and then I thought that he was a good guy. Later, I realized this guy had cornered very many people in town, and everyone was in pursuit of him. So there is a Swahili saying that says kifo cha wengi ni harusi, which means in English, if I can elaborate it, or rather translate it in a direct translation, is like a death that involves, you know, a group is no longer, you know, it's no longer, it's some sort of a wedding, you know, you're not alone. So so that is what happened, guys. That is how I came to Nairobi. I think that will be the end of the story, guys. Make sure that you be vigilant. People gonna solicit money from you through false pretense. Be on the lookout. Be on the watch, because someone who gonna steal from you is the very closest person next to you. Be a good you know, steward of your money, steward of your resources. No one cares. By the way, I came to realize you are on your own on this world. Just be on your own. Do things on your own. Never depend on anyone. Never trust anyone. That's gonna be the end of this episode. My name is Wambura, alias Joseph Blessed. Joe Inc. is the platform. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you can always be notified whenever we do the next video. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. Have yourself a wonderful time. Bye bye. See you in the next video.